Hey, conscious families, join us on this Disney cruise on the Wish. It was 3 nights, 4 days, and it was all adventure and fun. No excessive planning needed. We were so excited to see all of the shows, eat wonderful food, get outside in the sun, in ocean, beaches, set sail with us along this gluten-free, dairy-free journey. When we started our journey, we hit Maud Market at Denver before we flew out, and I found these little gadgets. You guys, fidget spinners on the plane are so helpful. Look at my face. I'm so excited. My husband sat behind us. Can you imagine? But it worked out great. I was able to hand the kids what we needed. Once we got off the plane, Dan had found this place, Voyage, in Orlando. We picked up our minivan, which we don't normally drive, but we were actually really excited by it. Voyage is amazing. It had fresh gluten-free eats, and we headed over to Embassy Suites. It was a little windy, but our kids had some extra energy they needed to burn. So, Mama covered up while the kids had a lot of fun. Embassy Suites was super great. We were able to use our Hilton points. The next morning, we headed out to the beach. We went to the Jetty Park Beach. We really enjoyed the experience of the day. It was a little chilly, as you can see by the coats, but the sun and the ocean were so amazing. We were so excited by this experience before getting on the boat. Our kids were picking up seashells, which I didn't even know was a thing. All right, let's talk about cruises. Disney is really good about having everything laid out. They even tell you an arrival time. We arrived probably 15 minutes early to our arrival time, and they let us in. You pull in, you pay for your parking right away, you pull in, and you drop your luggage off with the luggage people. It shows up in your room, and we had a 1 o'clock arrival time, but we showed up about 20 minutes early, and they allowed everybody to jump in. It was really cool. It was this really smooth line. The check-in went pretty quickly. Disney is really good about the whole thing. Put your smiles on, have your ears out, because there's a lot of pictures along the way. It was so fun. The kids were so excited about every little meander that we went to before we got onto the actual Wish. All of the families were really excited. A lot of people were wearing their Mickey ears. What's really cool about sailing with Disney is that all of the people were downright happy. And all of the people that were working on the ship were so friendly. That's why Dan and I were really excited to travel with Disney, was the experience we had. Gluten-free, dairy-free, and then having highly sensitive kids. So it was really cool to have the Disney experience and to have people that were helpful and friendly along the way. Let's talk magic bands. Instead of having to use our hotel key everywhere we went, we used our magic bands to sign in and out of the ship, and the restaurant places, and for the photo pictures, and the doors to our hotel room. I totally recommend it. We ran right up to the buffet, which, you guys, these buffets, the way they designed the Wish was after the pandemic. So they were really good about trying to make these eating areas small and close-knit, and it didn't feel like you were bombarded with too many people. The Wish ship was built after 2020. It's a newer ship, so it has hand washing stations around all of the food areas, and they have people standing there showing the hand washing stations. So it's a really cool way to just feel more safe. Also, when you're going through the buffet, they have people putting the food onto your plate. You're not dishing it up yourself. So it actually felt really safe the whole time we were there. We unpacked a little bit, and then we headed straight up to the set sail party. It was so cute. It was like this dance party. Now, here's a tip. If you don't care for a lot of people, you can sit up on the edge. One quick tip. After they have the set sail party, you can jump on the AquaMouse, and the ride is a lot less line. There are characters that pop up here and there. We loved our room. We ended up getting one with a veranda because you never know about germs. And so Dan thought if we get the veranda, then we don't have to worry if we get some type of sickness. We can enjoy the view. They have bunk beds that they pull down and then put away each day. And one thing that I would really recommend is if you have the late dining time, we did an early dinner, like a little snack dinner, and then we would go to a show. We would grab popcorn, head to the show, and we love the amazing shows. Then we would go to our late night dinner and then head straight to bed. I wouldn't miss the formal dinners. They were totally amazing. The first one was an older fashion theme, 1920s. The next morning, we decided it was our Nassau day. We had originally planned on staying on the ship, but as soon as we pulled into Nassau, I was like, I have to get off the ship. Dan, I want to go explore. So we decided after having a little formal sit-down breakfast, which was really amazing as we were pulling into Nassau, we got off and we walked into Nassau. You can take a taxi, but I just felt comfortable just walking in. It was pretty busy. So here's your choices in the Nassau day. One of the excursions is to one of the islands they'll take you over, but Dan had read that it was an all-day affair. It can take an hour or two to get there standing in line. They have a little ferry that ferries you over to the island. So we decided the kids really wanted to do the Incredibles inflatable on the ship. We decided that it was important to them to do that Incredible and explore the ship a little bit. We decided to stay on the ship that day, not do the excursion. We walked over to Nassau because Mom needed some beach time, but I will definitely tell you it was crowded. You can see by my picture in my face here. And we had to pay for a chair. It was Bahama style. It wasn't too bad. We figured it out. And the kids got to experience a little bit of the Bahamian culture, which was really neat. I know it was a tourist version, but we were excited about getting out of the country for the first time for our kids. The Incredible experience was so fun, you guys. Incredigames was what it was called, and the kids had this little obstacle course. Later on, our daughter raced her dad, and it was so cute to watch them. She totally kicked his bum. We noticed in the play area, there was really fun, engaging games. They had air hockey, ping pong, shuffleboard. It was this really cute experience. And at night, they pull down the basketball courts. We then headed out to the pool, which was an experience in its own. The AquaMouse had a longer line during that day because a lot of people choose staying on the ship that day instead of going into the Bahamas. But it wasn't too bad. The sun was out, the wind wasn't blowing. They had music, there were movies. I will say, if you are an introvert, this is a little bit busier. Not going to be the calmer, serene setting. But if you have a veranda, you always could sit on the veranda, take a little rest before you go back into this busy atmosphere. Since we had the late dinner, we decided to do a little extra pool time. We went in, cleaned up. We had on the pool deck area is where we would have those quick snacks. There was barbecue, there was taco bowls. The taco bowls were great with the gluten-free, dairy-free, so they would help Dan create something just for him. What's a little bit tricky when you're on the boat is that each night, put in your order for the morning the next day. Put in your order for the next dinner the next night. Since our kids are gluten-free, dairy-free, and Dan is, we would put in our order and then it would be ready the next day for us. If you like the popcorn, I would totally recommend that for the show. You buy the basket and then you refill it for $2 each night. And the kids, that was also another little snack to hold them over. Pirates Night was so fun. It was another dance party, and this time we decided not to get in the crowd. We stood on the edge and we really enjoyed it. We then went to our late dinner. So the order we went was the snack, We went to the show, we went to the Pirates, and then we ate dinner at the Avengers area. Spider-Man showed up. Our son really loved that. And then we went for fireworks that night. It makes it a little tricky because the next day is the best day on the cruise, Castaway Cay. This is an island in the Bahamas that's owned by Disney, so it's a private area. You don't even have to show your passport in the morning. We ate buffet for the kids, and they had gluten-free waffles, little Mickey gluten-free waffles, you guys. The kids loved it. We got off, we grabbed our towels, and we headed right into Castaway Cay. I had read on some of the blogs that you had to get up really early to get a chair, so we were super on it that day. It's not true. You don't have to jump out and go. You go down to the bottom floor, you go out the gangway, you pick up your towels, and you go on the tram to Castaway Cay. Don't worry about getting a chair. We were pretty steady and moving, getting up, going. I wouldn't say sleep in, because the people that did sleep in, they experienced a more busy Castaway Cay. We got there super early and had this amazing experience before it got busy. Castaway Cay is so much fun. It has this overall Disney experience without the crowds that we experienced in Walt Disney World and Disneyland. It felt like our own island. The people, again, were so sweet and generous and kind. We had ordered our meal the night before. So when we dinner 2, we ordered our meal for Castaway Cay. They told us you've got to pre-order that. That's one of the most important pre-orders that you can do as a gluten-free, dairy-free, or food restriction family. And so they did a great job taking care of us. We had amazing ribs, French fries, coconut rice, raspberry sorbet. Disney was always so helpful in finding a dessert that was gluten-free, dairy-free for us. Super challenging, right? Dairy-free is a challenging one. Here you can see husband putting sunscreen on the kiddo. True life here as conscious parents. One of our favorite pieces of Disney, obviously, of this Disney trip was Castaway Cay. We put on some snorkel gear. We went snorkeling in their protected area. It was so cool because they had little mini Disney pieces underneath. They even had an entire Dumbo car from the Dumbo ride at Disneyland. Minnie Mouse was under there. It was so fun. You guys, we saw a real stingray on the bottom of the ocean floor, and our daughter started to flip out for a minute. You could see the yellow eye, and it was blinking at us. It was not a huge stingray. It was pretty small, about 8 inches big maybe, but she had a little bit of a panic moment in the water. So I calmly wrapped my arm around her stomach and guided her through. I told her, it's okay. We have to calm our body down. We're having a little bit of a moment. And Mom was scared too when she saw that stingray. It startled me too. So just a heads up, there are still animals in this protected area. It feels really safe and harmonious there. You have to check out the amazing water slide. Yes, the water was also a little bit chilly. We went in mid-March for our spring break, but it was a little bit chilly. It was my first time in the Caribbean, so I was expecting warm, 80-degree water. It was a little chilly. And when we went down the water slide, it was a little bit of a shock. If you have sensitive kids, the water can get up your nose, so make sure you plug your nose and tell your kids to plug their noses when they hit the bottom. There's a really cute jungle gym and some hammocks. There's a lot of fun things. We saw a giant lizard while we were there. It was really cool. And I had to keep reminding the kids not to touch it. We wore out our welcome at Castaway Cay. We stayed the entire day from an early morning to a late day, but we really wanted to get our money's worth because we're a beach family. I packed all of our Dramamine, kids Dramamine, adult Dramamine. Dan had his ear patches. I had C-bands for all of us. I even brought holistic peppermint essential oils for us to smell, which can help with queasiness. But you guys, we ended up not needing it. And it was even windy when we went. There's a thing called pixie dust. I would recommend doing it. You can order some pixie dust items from Amazon. Our third night was the Arendelle experience, and it was so fun. Now, one key tip, those lines get really long to enter in, but every night you have a set table, so I don't really know why you would go early and get in the giant line. You could just show up later and get your seat. I'm not really sure. Arendelle had an awesome show with beautiful singers, beautiful music. They had some amazing Disney guests that showed up. And if you have your camera ready, you can get some pictures with them. It was this fun, energetic vibe. But they do move through very quickly. So our pictures you'll see in the end are a little bit blurry. Such a fun experience. There's also a silent disco. We stopped by very quickly, but it was such a fun experience. That was our last night, and we were so sad to leave. It was such a wonderful experience. We decided to jump off and head to Disney World after. I don't think I would recommend that. After getting off the ship, my body took several days to get accustomed to land. I kept asking Dan, when do we get off this ship? 2 days after. And we jumped right on a Yeti ride at Animal Kingdom, and my daughter and I almost passed out. Thanks for tuning in. We love this adventure. We hope that you think about Disney if you're thinking about cruise, and if you're, I don't know about cruises, think about it, meditate on it, and feel with your partner what you think the experience would be like.
Please welcome the Golden Elder Family.